Number 25. A student is ordering a flower arrangement. She can choose any combination of roses and carnations for her flower arrangement, and she does not want to spend more than $30. So she does not want to spend more than $30. So not more than $30. So no more than $30. Okay, no more means less. Less than or equal. So she can spend $30, $29, $28, anything $30 or less. If roses cost $3 each and carnations cost $2 each, which inequality represents all possible combinations of X roses and Y carnations? So X is roses, Y is carnations, and we said roses are $3 each and carnations are $2 each. So let's go ahead and make our equation. Okay, so let's start with this one. So we have $3, and that's for roses, and we said roses are X. Okay, and that means plus. Carnations are $2 each. Carnations are Y, so plus 2Y. And we said no more than 30. No more than means less than or equal to 30. So there's our equation, and we are going to look for it. So which one has that? It looks like B has that. So that's my answer for number 25. Next is number 26. The graph models the linear relationship between the temperature of Earth's atmosphere and the altitude above sea level. Which of these best represents the rate of change of the temperature with respect to altitude? So I'm looking for rate of change. Rate of change is another name for slope. And slope is the letter M. So I'm going to use my formula M equals Y2 minus Y1 divided by X2 minus X1. But to use this formula, I need 2 points. So let's go ahead and pick some points. I like this y-intercept here. That one's pretty good. That one looks like the y is in the middle of 10 and 20, so that's about 15. And it's touching the line, so that's 0. Let's pick another good point. Let's see. This one's pretty good. That one is at, this is 10 here, 10, negative 50. Okay, so I'm going to use 0, 15, and 10, negative 50. And this will be x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 is negative 50 minus y1 is 15 divided by x2 is 10 minus x1 is 0. Let's put what is on top or up in the calculator. Negative 50 minus 15 is negative 65 divided by 10 minus 0 is 10. And I'm going to do negative 65 divided by 10. So negative, let's put negative 65 divided by 10. And that's negative 6.5. Let's keep it decimal because all my answers are decimals. And the answer is F. And let me just remind you that for slope it's y up. So y is the degrees Celsius divided by the x is down. The x is kilometers. And remember, this line is per. So it's negative 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer. There, so that is F. Let's go ahead and do number 27. the value of y is directly proportional to the value of x. So these are proportional. If you see proportional, you will need to do something like this. If y equals 35 when x equals 140, what is the value of y when x equals 70? So we are going to go ahead and make our proportion here. And I'm going to have to pair everything up. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to put all of my x's on the left side, and I'm going to put all of my y's on the right side. And I'm going to put the partners together. So let's start with this one. So my first x is 140, and the partner is 35. My second x is 70, and the partner for y, I don't know because it says what is the value of y. I'm going to put y. Now I'm going to solve. How you solve is you cross multiply. So I'm going to do 140 times y. 140 times y is 140y, and put equals 70 times 35. Let's see what that is. 70 times 35. It's 2,450. I want the y alone. 140 is with y. Nothing in the middle, that's multiply. The opposite is to divide by 140. Divide by 140. 140 divided by 140, that's 1. It cancels. Copy y equals. Let's divide this and see what the answer is. So 2,450 divided by 140, and I get 17.5. 17.5. That is my answer, 17.5. Okay, number 28 is next. 28. Which expression is equivalent to m squared minus 13m minus 30? So I have m squared minus 13m minus 30. We're going to go ahead and do our ABC first. So A equals, B equals, C equals. I'm going to have to factor, so I'm going to do my 7 steps. What is A? Well, A is the number in front of m squared. If there's no number, you put a 1. So A is 1, B is negative 13, and C is negative 30. And step number 1 is A times C. A times C, that's 1 times negative 30. And so step 2, I'm going to need to factor this number. So 1 times negative 30 is negative 30. I need to factor negative 30. And I'm going to do this on a different paper because I think it's going to be a long one. Okay, so first we're going to start with 1. So 1 times what equals negative 30? Let's put in the calculator negative 30 divided by 1. I get negative 30. Do I need to do negative 1? Yes, because I have negatives. So negative 1 times what equals negative 30? Well, it's positive 30. Next is 2. 2 times what equals negative 30? Put in the calculator negative 30 divided by 2. That's negative 15. Sorry, yeah, negative 15. Next is negative 2 times what equals negative 30? It's 15. Okay, now it's 3. 3 times what equals negative 30? It's negative 10. Then negative 3 times positive 10 equals negative 30. Let's see if 4 works. Negative 30 divided by 4. That doesn't work because it has a decimal. Let's try 5. Negative 30 divided by 5. That's negative 6. So 5 times negative 6 equals negative 30. And negative 5 times positive 6 equals negative 30. Next, the third step, we need to add for B. And B in this case is negative 13. So I need to try to get negative 13. So I'm going to do 1 plus negative 30. 1 plus negative 30 is negative 29. Next, we're going to do negative 1 plus 30. That's positive 29. So these are not negative 13, so these are not working out for me. Next is 2 plus negative 15. I'm sorry. 2 plus negative 15. That's negative 13. That one actually worked. These are what I want. I want negative 13. So 2 plus negative 15 are the numbers that I will use. I'm going to use 2 plus negative 15. Let me go ahead and zoom out here. Now I'm going to put in parentheses. My letter is M, so I'm going to put M here and M here. This is positive 2, and this is negative 15. Now I have to divide by A. A is 1, so I'm going to divide by 1. Parenthesis M. 2 divided by 1 is positive 2. And then copy again, parenthesis M. Negative 15 divided by 1 is negative 15. And there's no denominator to move. So this right here is my answer. So that one looks like it's the same like F, except it's switched, and that is okay. It's okay to have that. Now, how do you check it? Well, let me show you how you check it. You can do parenthesis M plus 2 parenthesis, and then parenthesis M minus 15 parenthesis. We will do the arrows or the distributive property. So we are going to do M times M. M times M is M squared. Then we will do M times negative 15. M times negative 15 is negative 15M. 2 times M is positive 2M. And then 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. Now you're going to do your two like terms, which are these two in the middle. We're going to copy M squared. Negative 15 plus 2 is negative 13M minus 30. And is that the same like in the question? Yes, these are exactly the same. So perfect. My answer is F. Next is number 29. Number 29. The line graphed on the grid represents the first of two equations in a system of linear equations. So what they're saying here is that I have a system of equations, which means two lines. This is my first line. If the graph of the second equation in the system passes through the points negative 12, 20 and 4, 12, which statement is true? So my second equation has negative 12, 20. So negative 12, 20, let's go ahead and put that on the graph. So negative 12 is X. It's negative, so I'm going to go to the left 12, and 20 is positive, it's Y, so I'm going to go up. So I'm going to start in the middle, 12 to the left, and 20 up, and I'm going to put a point. Next is 4, 12. 4 is X, and 12 is Y. 4 is positive, so I'm going to go to the right, and 12 is positive, so I'm going to go up. So start in the middle, go 4 to the right and 12 up. Now you need a straight edge. You're going to need a ruler or your ID or something. And we are going to go ahead and draw a straight line. Be very careful with it. Put your arrows. So let's take a look here. What is the solution? Well, these two are parallel lines. Parallel means never touch. If they never touch, that means no solution. No touch, no solution. So let's go ahead and read our answers. Remember, we want something with no solution. So A, the only solution to the system is 10, 5. That's not true. There is no solution. B, the only solution to the system is 0, 14. false. C, the system has no solution. Okay, C is my answer. This one, the system has an infinite number of solutions. That's false. This one is no solution. And let me just kind of remind you, for these two to have a solution, you need to have lines touching. So this is the solution if two lines touch. For no solution, it's parallel lines, no touch. For infinite numbers of solutions, it's two same equations. So you need two equations that are the same. So for example, you would have y equals 2x plus 3 and y equals 2x plus 3. And what happens in this case is you have two lines, but they are in the same place. So it looks like you have only one line. Okay, but the answer is C, no solution. Number 30. What is the domain of f of x equals 9 minus x squared? Well, let's see how it looks like. Let's put it in the calculator. Push y equals, clear. Put 9 minus x squared. Go to the graph. Okay, so it looks like it's a parabola. Let's find the vertex. Let's see. Okay, I see the vertex. The vertex is right here at 0, 0, 9. How do I know? Because up is 8 and down is 8. So 0, 9 is my vertex. So I'm going to just go ahead and draw it. So it looks like this with a vertex 0, 9. I'm just going to draw it really fast. Now they want the domain. I'm going to do the domain and range just for extra information. Okay, domain is x and range is y. Okay, so for domain, remember for a parabola, if it's a U and it goes down or it goes up, the answer is always all real numbers. And for range, you do y, then you look at the arrows are down, so that means it's less than or equal to, and the y is 9. Y is less than or equal to 9, that's the range. But I want the domain, so my answer is all real numbers, G. That was an easy one. Number 31. A student used f of x equals 5 times 1.012 to the power of x to show how the balance in a savings account will increase over time. What does the $5 represent? Okay, so we want to know what the $5 represent. Now, before we even look at this, let me explain to you what everything represents. Okay, you're going to have three parts. This part right here is the starting or initial amount or number, the starting initial number. This is the percent of change. If it's bigger than 1, then that means it's getting bigger. If it's smaller than 1, it's getting smaller. This right here will be your time. So it could be, for example, year. Okay. A. Oh, they want to know what is 5. Well, for 5, we're looking for starting or initial amount. So A, the interest the savings account earned for the first year. Okay, that's false. B, the annual interest rate of savings account. No, this is actually this, interest rate. C, the number of years the savings account has earned interest. Nope. D, the starting balance. Yep, 5 is the starting balance. D. So you're just going to kind of have to memorize how that works. 32. The graph of a function is shown on the grid. Which ordered pair best represents the location of the y-intercept? So I'm looking for the y-intercept. Remember, y-intercept is where it touches the y-axis. So where does this line touch y? Well, it looks like it touches right here. And let me zoom in and show you the number. It's -2. So it touches at -2. So let me do my ordered pair. It touches y at -2. So y is -2 and it touches, so that's a 0. So it's 0, -2. And looks like the answer is G, 0, -2. Okay, next question. Number 33. Researchers in Antarctica discovered a warm sea current under a glacier that is causing the glacier to melt. The ice shelf of the glacier has a thickness of approximately 450 meters when it was first discovered. So my starting or initial number, because it was first discovered, is 450. So that's my starting or initial. So let me go ahead and write it. So starting / initial is 450 meters. The thickness of the shelf itself is decreasing at an average rate of 0.6 meters per day. So decreasing, and just so you know, decreasing means less, and that means minus. And it's decreasing by 0.06 meters per day. Okay, and that's a rate. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. That's a rate. What does that remind you? Rate. Rate of change. What is rate of change? Slope. What letter is slope? M. Okay. Now, which function can be used to find the thickness of the ice shelf in meters x days since the discovery? Okay, so x is days. So basically, your starting or initial, that's going to be your y-intercept. And this is meters per day. That's the rate, or the rate of change. That's the slope, which is m. So you're going to write it as an equation. You're going to write y equals, put 450, no x because that's the y-intercept, and decreasing, so minus by 0.06 meters per day. That's the slope, so you need to put x. And it looks like my answer is A. Number 34. What is the positive solution to the equation 0 equals 1/3 x squared minus 3? I'm going to do this on a different paper. I'm going to do it right here. Okay, so we need to find the answer, the positive solution. Okay, we want the positive solution. All right, so I have 0 equals 1/3 x squared minus 3. I need to get the x alone. Okay, and let me show you how to do that. Well, I want x alone. Two things with x. I have 1/3 and minus 3. This is a divide. This is a minus. What do you do first, divide or minus? You do the minus. The opposite is plus. So plus 3, plus 3. 0 plus 3 is 3 equals, copy down 1/3 x. This cancels. -3 plus 3 is 0. Now this is a divide. The opposite of divide is to multiply, and we are going to flip. So that is 3 up and 1 down. Copy to the other side. That's 3 up and 1 down. These cancel. They are 1. Copy down x equals. Let's put this in the calculator. 3 divided by 1 times 3. So parenthesis 3 divided by 1, parenthesis 3, enter. I got 9. Oops, I forgot the squared. So this was an x squared, this was an x squared, this is an x squared. Okay, now I'm not finished because I need to get rid of that squared. What's the opposite of squared? Well, it's square root. So this cancels and you get x equals, what's the square root of 9? Well, second x squared, 9. So square root of 9 is 3. And when you square root, the answer is the positive and the negative number. So the answer is x equals 3 and negative 3. So here are my answers. But I want the positive solution, the positive, so the positive one is 3. Another way to solve it, if it helps you, is you have 0 equals, let me go ahead and write it, 0 equals 1/3 x squared minus 3. Let's do our ABC. We're going to use our formula. So A equals 1/3 because it has x squared. B is 0 because there is no x. C is negative 3. We're going to use our quadratic formula. And remember, they give you this paper, and the quadratic formula is right here on the bottom. It's x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So negative b, so negative 0 plus or minus square root, b is 0, so parentheses 0 parentheses squared, minus 4 times a is 1/3 times c is negative 3. All of that divided by 2a, a is 1/3. We're going to go ahead and copy. So negative 0 is 0, so basically that cancels. So have positive negative square root. Let's put this all in the calculator. So parentheses 0 parentheses squared minus 4 times 1 divided by 3 parentheses parentheses negative 3 parentheses. I get 4. Divided by, well, I'll put the 0 in the front here for you guys. So negative 0 is 0. Okay. 2 times 1/3. Oops. 2 times 1/3. Math 1. Enter. It's 2/3. I'll put it in parentheses, 2/3. Okay. Now 0 plus or minus square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Divided by parentheses 2 divided by 3 parentheses. Now you're going to have two parts. So we're going to have 0 plus 2 divided by 2/3. And then we're going to have 0 minus 2 divided by 2/3. 0 plus 2 is 2. Divide that by 2/3. So 2 divided by parentheses 2 divided by 3 parentheses, that's 3. Then this one, 0 minus 2 is negative 2 divided by 2/3. Negative 2 divided by parentheses 2 divided by 3 parentheses, that's negative 3. Okay, the same like we had up here, but remember I want the positive number, so that would be the answer. So the answer for number 34 is 3.